You're listening to Empty Nexters, a podcast about finding joy, beauty, and wonder in the next season of life. What's your next? Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Empty Nexter podcast. I'm your host, Shelly. Thanks a bunch for joining me today. So we've been talking about that big word, courage. Yep, we've talked about it in several different ways, and we're going to keep on talking about it because I feel like, we just need to be reminded that we're not alone, that there's women in the Bible that had to have courage, that there's women that we know that have been walking courageously. We've had courageous influence. And I thought, you know what? I love acronyms. So wouldn't it be fun just to do a little quick devotion or a quick Nexter short on the acronym of courage? So with that being said, we're going to dive right into the 7 letters of courage. All right, here we go with letter C. Now, this one is fun because it's a celebration. That's right. We celebrate the season we've survived. That's right. Whether it's, the next Nexters, surviving, oh my goodness, potty training, surviving preteens, going to, going to another grade, or teenagers driving test and college. Oh, there's so many things we could say, but you survived this season. Give yourself a pat on the back, sit down and celebrate it. Because before you rush into what's next, you need to pause long enough to recognize what you just walked through. Now, come on, that takes courage. It takes courage to recognize, hey, you know what? I made it through. I successfully helped my child learn math, or I successfully, helped my child learn how to drive, or helped my child buy his first house. I mean, that's what we were able to do this about 6 months ago, and we are so grateful. The seasons are so awesome, and we need to sit down and celebrate. Now, yes, we do have seasons that we've come out of that have been traumatic and hard, and I don't ever want to make light of that. But I also want to know that we have to celebrate that God got us through. Some seasons stretch us emotionally, and some stretch us physically and spiritually, and sometimes survival is itself the victory. That's right. But sometimes it's easy to focus only on what's ahead and forget the strength that it took to get here. But Nexters, you made it through. Psalm 126:3 says, "The Lord has done great things for us, and we are filled with joy." Oh, I think sometimes I miss the faithfulness of God because I want to move too quickly past a hard season instead of stopping to reflect on how He carried me through it. Build that altar of remembrance. Sit down with my journal and go, God, thank you so much for a long season of this or that you brought me through. Oh, I could tell you stories of God's faithfulness. And I bet if I could listen to you right now, you could tell me some stories as well. We need to sit down and do that. We need to celebrate the growth. Come on, we've all grown. You're better today than you were yesterday. Come on, right? We celebrate healing. We celebrate prayers God answered. And we celebrate the strength that you didn't know you had until you needed it. So your action step on this one, take the time this week and reflect on the season you just came through. You know what it is. Journal what God taught you, where He strengthened you, and how faithful He was. And thank Him for carrying you through it. Okay, we're going on to the letter O. Okay, girls, I'm going to tell you this right now. And gentlemen, you need to own that wisdom that you carry. I don't care what age you are, because we're being generational on this podcast. Nexters are, yes, we are the 50 plus group, but we're also reaching out to those next Nexters behind us, and y'all have wisdom. Remember what I said in a previous podcast, no matter what age you are, you're older than somebody else. That means you have a little more wisdom than that person. So own the wisdom that you carry. You're not behind. You're not irrelevant. You are very seasoned. That's right. There's a confidence, not an arrogance. There's a confidence that comes from not knowing everything, but knowing that God's been faithful. I read a quote one time from a woman that she says, "I may not move as fast as I used to, but I sure see clearer than I ever have." And that's how I feel. Y'all know, I've told you I've had some knee issues and I don't move quite as fast as I used to. But my perspective is so much sharper than it was at 30. And I fully anticipate when I get to be 65 and 70, I'll be even sharper in my perspective. And the world desperately needs us. They need us. The nexters that have journeyed and have weathered the storms, that have seen clearly, to help them. We are called to light the way before them so that their path is less treacherous. I'm grateful for all the women ahead of me that have kind of, worn that path out ahead so that I don't fall. I'm so grateful. James 1:5 simply says, if any one of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, and guess what? He'll give it to you. Your experience matters, your story matters, and the lessons God's taught you matters. So the action step here is ask God, where can I use what I've learned? Oh, that's a scary one, because sometimes that's going to require you to be bold and courageous and teach a class or speak at a conference or go out and do something in the community with the gift you have. And then write down whatever comes to heart. All right, we're moving on to the letter U. Unlock new dreams. Oh, we've talked about this, being adventurous and trying new things. This one can feel a little scary because, stepping out of your comfort zone, once you get a certain age, you just want to kind of settle in and be warm and cozy. No, no, no. We're not settling in and being warm and cozy for too long. There's those moments because I do love me, my fluffy robe and my slippers and my comfy chair when I getting ready for bed and I get out my word search book. I have a whole routine, y'all. I have become that woman and I love it. If you call me or text me any night, 6:00, you probably know where I'm at, in my jammies, in my chair with my favorite word search book. I just think it's fun because dreaming again means hoping again. That can be a little scary because sometimes you'll get disappointed. What if I try and I fail? But what if you don't fail? Go ahead and try anyway. God's not finished with us. Some of us have quietly packed away dreams because life got busy raising kids, building families and careers, even caring for older parents. Or guess what? Just surviving difficult seasons. But what if this season is actually an invitation to rediscover what God placed in you years ago? Isaiah 43:19 says, see, I'm doing a new thing. I know women who went back to school later in life because they felt God stirring something in their heart. They thought their story was winding down, but really, they were just turning the page. So the action step here is write down one thing, just one thing that you secretly thought about doing, but you talked yourself out of it. I secretly thought about doing a crew, but I talked myself out of it because I thought, nobody needs anything I have. It has been the best adventure of my life. Pray over it this week. Then get really brave and share it with somebody else who, guess what? They'll hold you accountable and push you to do it. That's right. Oh, that's a scary thing too. Coming along a sister and say, hey, I really think I want to try this, but I'm scared, but will you hold me accountable? And then they're going to be like, yes, I will. Don't get mad at me if I tell you to get your little booty outside and start doing it. I've got friends like that in my life and I'm forever grateful. All right, we're moving on to R. We refuse to coast. Nexters, we do not coast. We don't sit too long. We don't stay comfortable. Nope. It's easy to settle into comfort in this season and to think, I've done my part. Yep. I've raised my kids. I've done all the things. I've served in the church. I could go down the whole list, but there's still purpose in you. I've seen some women slowly shrink back because they felt like they had nothing to give, but really what happened was nobody reminded of them that they still carried value. Is there a woman you see that's just kind of sitting on the sidelines and they want to, but they just need to be asked? I've seen women all the time that if I just go up to them and say, have you considered? Have you thought? And man, their eyes light up that, whoa, you think I can do that? I absolutely do, because people have done that for me. They've seen value in me, and that brings life. Oh, I love that. So if you haven't heard it today, let me be the one to tell you there's more in you. Because Galatians 6:9 says, let's not become weary in well-doing. That's right. Let's don't get weary. Let's keep doing it for Jesus. So nexters, you don't disconnect from your purpose just because your role looks a little different now. You keep on going. So the action step here, choose one area where you feel you've been coasting spiritually, emotionally, personally, physically. Have you put your health on hold? I'm encouraging you now, get up and go do something. Walk, find an exercise group, Start fighting for your health. Remember, Nexters, we are healthy mind, body, and soul. Take one intentional step forward this week. And we're going on to the letter A. Answer God's next assignment. Your next assignment may not look like your last one, and that's okay. Sometimes we miss what God is doing now because we keep trying to recreate what happened back then. God may be calling you into mentor someone or serve somewhere new or start something different or lead differently. He might be calling you to speak up when you're scared to death. Oh, just do it. He'll be there to meet you. Just step out in faith. Or just simply be available again. Like we've read before, Isaiah 6:8. Here I am, Lord, send me. So your action step here is ask God, who needs me in this season? And then I need you to stay open to the answer. If it doesn't come right away, then you just go on out there, ask him to show you. But maybe you just get brave and ask yourself and not just wait. Oh, come on now. Now we're going into G. Give courage away. You got courage? Let's make it contagious. Let's share it with other people. The strength God built in you was never meant to stop with you. There's a whole generation behind you that desperately needs people willing to share honestly about what God has done in their lives. Getting tongue-tied again. Your story may be the roadmap for someone else. That's right. Someone might be praying for some people to come around them or in front of them and show them a path that they've taken. You may be the answer to someone's prayers. 2 Corinthians 1:4 reminds us that God comforts us so we can comfort others. The wisdom you carry wasn't meant to stay tucked away. I said stuck away, to say tucked away. Your prayers, perseverance, and experiences can become hope for someone else. So the action step this week, reach out to one person. Remember I said, send him a text or make a phone call, meet him for coffee, and share something real from your journey. So E is our last letter. Embrace the adventure. This is where their perspective shifts. The next season is not something to merely survive. No, we're going to thrive. We step into it. God is still writing our story. Ephesians 3:20 says, now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than we can ask or imagine. I know couples who have later in life stepped into completely new ministries and said, we never felt more alive. That's what happens when we simply stay available to God. Your greatest impact may still be ahead of you. So here's your action step for this one. Do one thing this week that stretches you or may scare you a little. Something bold, something new, something that reminds you life isn't over. It's still unfolding. So here's the question I want to leave with you today. What would it look like to walk into this season with courage instead of fear? Because courage isn't always loud. Sometimes courage simply looks like trusting God enough to believe He still has purpose, joy, influence, and adventure ahead of you. Nexters, I hope you've enjoyed the 7 letters of courage, and I hope you find courage in your next. Now go out and live courageously. Have a great one.